Hello and good morning. Let's take a look at today's work here. Well, first of all, if you did not take the test, make sure you do so. Also, your homework is due and today's the last day for that. All right, let's take a look here. It says draw a distance from point C, right here, to segment AB. Well, distance is not like this. Distance is always perpendicular. So the correct answer here would be 90 degrees. Remember, distance is always the shortest distance, which is 90 degrees. Let's take a look at this next one here. If you look, the segment here bisects this other segment, okay? And you know it bisects it because it's equal. This piece is equal to this piece. And it's perpendicular. So that's called the perpendicular bisector theorem, which means that any point on this bisector is equal. So this one and this one are equal. So you're going to put 5x is equal to this one. It's real simple. Any point on there. And now you're going to subtract 3x from both sides. When you take 5 minus 3, you get 2x is equal to 8, x is equal to 4. If they want to know what this is, it's 20, 5 times 4. And they're both the same. There's something called the angle bisector theorem. If you take any angle and you bisect it, and remember the word bisect means to cut it equally in pieces, okay, down the middle, then any point on here, the distance is the same. So any point on here, the distance is the same. Now, my drawing is not quite in the middle, but take a look. We know that this one is an angle bisector because it's marked. This one is equal to this one. Therefore, x is equal to 7. Real simple. It's just the angle bisector theorem. Write that down. So you did two things. We did the perpendicular bisector theorem and the angle bisector theorem. Today, here's your work. You have a worksheet A. I want you to do that first, and then I want you to finish up 5.1 from the workbook. I gave you that last week, I think last Wednesday, but I want you to finish it. All right, let's turn our attention now. Here's your worksheet, by the way. Here's worksheet A. It's also on Canvas, so you can access it there. And I'll try to leave some copies in the folder. But remember, if there are none in the folder, it's your responsibility to download it. And that includes if you're absent. All right, let's turn our attention now to MCR class. All right, so MCR class says add and then subtract. Well, when you add these up, they're lined up, that gives you x squared. When you add these up, you get 2x. When you add that up, you get a negative 2, and you're done. Now, here's the tricky part about subtract. You see, some kids say, well, it's already a minus. Right, but it says subtract. So you have to put a negative here, and then you got to go in here and change the signs. So this one changes to a plus, this one changes to a minus, and then you can scratch out these other signs. So when you do that, you get 5x squared. Okay, this one right here is going to be plus 6x, and then this one is going to be a negative 8. And that's how you subtract. So if they say subtract, you have to distribute a negative sign. Now watch this one. This is kind of weird. It says subtract this from that. So you're going to take negative 8x minus 3y, and then you're going to do minus all of this, which is 11x plus y. And when you do that, this is going to change to a negative and a negative, and you can scratch that out. So when you add these up, or combine them rather, you get a negative 19x. And when you combine these, you get a negative 4y. And then you're done. And that's how you do that. Those of you at home and parents, if you have any colored markers, you can donate. This is not a really nice one, but it works. So I'd appreciate it if you could. Thank you so much. All right, let's talk about today's work, 4.6. Okay, so 4.6, you have to multiply. Well, this is already 3x to the third because you got to add up your exponents. So it's going to be 3x to the third times x to the first. You have the same base, and by rule 1, you got to add that up. And when you do, you get 3, and 3 times 1. See, there's a 1 right here. 3 times 1 is 3, and that's x to the fourth power, and you're done. This one is 3 times 2 is 6, and then you got to add that up and get x to the 10th power. This one is FOIL. Now, FOIL is just a way to teach you, but all you do is you take this one to both of these, and when you're done, you take this one to both of these, and that's FOIL. All right, so let's do it. This times this is going to be 6a squared, because you got to add your exponents when you multiply. And then this times this is going to be plus 10a. And then you're going to switch to the next one, which is a negative 12a. I'm going to write it right below there. And then this is going to be a negative 20. So your final answer when you do FOIL is going to be 6a squared minus 2a minus 20. Make sure you can do FOIL, check the answers in the back. This one right here is writing it twice. Just like 5 squared is 5 times 5, this one is x plus y times x plus y, and then you do FOIL. All right, today's work is right here, and I'll see you in class.